Hello, good day. I'm very super excited to have you come back to watch these videos. And every single time I get to see you watching these videos, it truly means a lot to me. And today's video, as you've seen from the thumbnail, I'm really going to be teaching you guys how to be able to manage your risk, especially when trying to pass a prop firm. And I hope that what I'm about to share would really help you in your journey very sincerely to get into a point where you can be a profitable traders. Truly, in trying to trading generally and in trying to pass FTMO challenge and funded challenge to get funded, really there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of emotions literally that get into the way and stop traders from making very rational decisions. And most of the times you get up blowing many accounts. You've bought so many FTMO challenge and you've blown it, and you're asking yourself, is really FTMO challenge very possible to pass? And how can I pass it? And I have other videos on FTMO challenge and how to pass it. But for today, I just want to focus on risk management. And I hope by the end of this video that you should be able to understand exactly how much you should risk per trade. And you should really know how many trades you can take per day, and also when to stop trading, right? So that you don't get to violate their daily or max drawdown rules that most FTMO challenge have. And let's go right into the video. Number one is many people try or attempt to pass prop firm without properly understanding the prop firm rules. And really, it's going to be very difficult if you really don't understand the rules, right? So you really want to go through for different prop firm. I understand they have their uniqueness, but before you talk about entries, your strategy, you must understand the rule of the game. And most program has very similar rule, and sometimes the rules look like max loss limit, max overall drawdown limit, profit target, right? And some daily loss limit usually would be around 5%, some maybe 4%. Max overall drawdown limit are usually around 10%, and your profit target is around 8 to 10%, right? And usually it have something from like phase one, phase two, some even get to have phase two. But really, if you're really serious about passing prop firm, you should really just go for phase one. At least prop firm that have phase one and phase two. There's no point trying to do phase one, phase two, phase three, right? And all that, right? So now let's take a very quick example to be able to understand how this really works in a real scenario. So for example, let's say you want to take $100,000 evaluation account. Usually they will have like a daily loss limit, and for $100,000 account, a daily loss limit would be around 5%, and that's around $5,000 for $100,000 account. Then we have the max drawdown limit, which is something around 10%. And for $100,000 account is usually around $10,000. And then you have a profit target of 8%, which you will need like $8,000 profit to be able to pass that prop firm. And usually as you go, phase one has this unique rule and phase two has this unique rule. So I personally, what I usually would do is I first of all try to write down every prop firm, the rules, right? And usually, if you are really serious about trading and maybe you don't have a job or you have a job, just write down the rules and place it where you could see it every day. It does something to you. It reminds you that every single day that this is what you are trying to achieve, one, and this is what it takes to achieve it, and this is how much you should try to discipline yourself to not go by every single day. Then after you've done that, then secondly, you have to understand the core risk management formula. And these are risk management formula I've used. I know some people have different account size, but please, what I'm about to say, usually, if you're trading like $2,000, $5,000, you could just still apply, right? Bigger or smaller account. I want to use a figures and statistics that really would help people at different point of their trading career to be different account size to be able to still find it very applicable. So now let's build a risk management framework, and this is the backbone of passing any problem challenge. Number one, for most traders, a safe and effective structure is usually risk per trade, right? Usually, our advice for risk per trade, at least 0.25% of your account or 0.5% of your account per trade daily, right? And your max risk per day should be at least 1% to 2% of the account, right? So if they are saying you should not lose more than 8%, if they are saying you should not lose more than 8%, then you should really at least try to do risk per trade. Every single trade you are taking at least 0.2% of that account, and max risk per trade should be around 1 to 2% of that trade, right? And you should always try as much as you can to always have a hard stop loss for that day. So you have to hit, when you hit your stop loss limit for that day, you should not give yourself excuse. You should stop executing. So that is very important. Usually I will use this structure. My risk per trade every single day is at least 0.5 every single trade. It means for every trade I'm entering, if that one position should hit stop loss, at least should not be more than 0.5% of my account. And my max risk per day, usually at least 2% of that my account, right? So so that by the time I hit 2% drawdown every single day, that's now my personal rules. What happens is I literally would stop trading for that day. Literally would stop trading for that day. And that really would help you to be able to have more trials every single day, right? So by the time most people are very greedy, and that's why even in their personal account, they keep blowing their account, right? But if you really get to a point where you discipline yourself to say, I know that this trade might go well, but tell yourself that I would not increase my lot size. I'll use a very an average lot size and make sure that I have that could allow me to be able to not risk more than this particular amount every single day. If you're able to discipline yourself really at the end of the day with your lot size and sticking to that goal you've set for yourself, trust me, it becomes very easy to be able to, meet the demands to be able to pass your profile. So for example, using the $100 account, so 0.5% per trade would be like $500 risk on each trade right now. And 1.5 would be like $1,500 per day. So every single day on a $100,000 account, you're risking 500 per trade. And usually you can take 2 or 3 trades that day, right? And just make sure that at least you don't risk $1,500 per day. And another thing is that can give you at least 2 to 3 trades. Usually me, I don't trade more than 2 times. I don't two entries a day. If I lose the 2 entries, I'm done for that day. But at least some people here high risk, and I understand that you want to be able to scale up fast. So that's why I at least give that 3 try. But if you stick like 0.5% per day and you discipline yourself, it's very difficult for you to be able to go through some regular emotions traders have and lose all their account, right? So if your profit allows a 5% daily drawdown, why are we using 1 to 2%? Because you are not trying to dance on the edge of the road, right? You are trying to build a very consistent system that allows you to survive each day without losing every single thing. Then that leads me to the next point is position sizing, right? And usually this is where many people fix it. They don't know the right lot size to use. And if you really want to pass profit, everything have to be calculated, right? It's not your normal account. They are giving you street rule here. So you need to use that rule they've set for you and lower, and also use it to set a rule for yourself, right? That helps you to be able to give you an edge. Don't be trading so emotional that you keep dashing this profit, guys, your money, buying challenge, and you keep losing because of indiscipline. Now you understand percentage risk. Now you need to convert that your percentage risk into the lot size or contract size you need to use, right? Here are some simple process that I personally use. I identify my stop loss distance at every single time, right? Example, there you can go to baby pit position size calculator, and literally it just helps me to just fill in the details. I'll just put in the currency pair, put in how much I'm willing to risk or how many percent of my account I'm willing to risk, put my stop loss, and it just helps me tell me if my stop loss is here, this is how much I'll be able to lose, right? So example, your stop loss is 30 pips away. So you have to decide your risk per trade. And we've said that 0.5%, which is $500 per trade, right? So your position size, your risk amount divided by your stop loss in pips, and times the value of the pips gives you the lot size to be able to use. For example, let's say in Forex, you're assuming $10 per pips per standard lot, right? So risk amount is $500. The stop loss is 30 pips, right? And we're trying to use 1 lot, right? And 1 lot equals to $10 per pips, right? So now the total risk per lot is 30 pips. So that 30 pips times that $10, right? It's going to give us what? $300. So you can, so let's say, for example, so if you are risking $500, so the position size is going to be that $500 divided by what? That $300. Um, uh, is going to give us, right, 1.66 lot size. So, right, so you can round this down to 1.6 lots to be very conservative. So your entry still is still at 0.5% of the account. So no matter where the price goes, as long as you repeat this formula, you make sure you are calculating your stop loss pips with to be able to get the appropriate lot size, to make sure that you don't use a lot size and a stop loss pips that once it go against you, you'll be losing more than that 0.5% per trade, right? So with this, it will really help you. You have to be very calculative. Sit down. Now you don't even know how to do this calculation manually. I've told you baby pips calculator, position size calculator. Just go there, put in the information so that you'll be very sure, right? Because most times, many people stop loss and lot size is so big that it violates how much they are willing to risk per day. And this literally can literally help you or lead you to losing your account. Then now the fourth thing is your daily and your weekly loss rule, right? So risk management is not just per trade, it's per day and per week, right? So you really have to factor that in place. So max risk per day is 1 to 2% as we established. But me, I personally used to try to use 1% per day, right? And my stop trading after 2 to 3 losses trading a row, right? If I'm losing 0.5, which is $500, I'm done trading for that day. So my weekly drawdown limit is at least 4 to 5% max of the account, right? So if you are down 5% from the starting balance, cut your risk per trade into half. So if you are down 5% from the starting balance, cut your risk per trade into half. So let's say this particular week I traded and I'm down 5%. And remember, my total drawdown limit is maybe 10%. I'm down 5%. So I'll cut down that $500 into $250 per trade, right? Sometimes you might be lucky if you have a good strategy that week, you might be up, you might not have drawdown, so but you still maintain it. But in case something goes wrong, trading is a probability game. You have to cut down your risk into half, right? So let's use our $100 example again. Let's say our daily max is 1.5, which is $1,500, and our weekly max is 5%. Let's say, well, this week $5,000 is what I'm risking on my $100,000 account. So if you are down $5,000 total, reduce that risk from 0.5 to 0.2, 25%, right? So this does two things for you. It slows down your losses when you are in drawdown, and it gives you more time for your edge to start working apparently again, right? So you have to remember something, that prop firm wants traders who can protect their capital more than traders who can take big risk, right? So if you show you can repeat and respect those limits and restrictions they place on you, your chances of getting funded and keeping that funding increases, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to pass your prop firm, right? So the fifth thing is your risk to reward. That's your win rates. I know many people overlook this point, but it's really important. Everything I've said is I really took the time to just look at from my own experience and bring something that could help you in your next prop firm, right? So your risk management, right, without risk to reward is very incomplete. So to grow that your account very safely, you have to follow this structure that I'm going to give you currently. So you have to aim for at least 1 to 2%, 1 to 2 risk to reward per trade on most of your trades. I know sometimes the market might behave and so I used to hear complaints like, Leonard, this 1 to 2 risk to reward, if I cap it on stone, sometimes trade will just give one to one and you just keep hitting my stop loss like that, right? Sometimes, usually what causes this is when you are trading in a ranging market. So usually if I were you, you'd stay away from ranging market, because ranging market, even though your strategy can be right, instead of it to give you 1 to 2, it can really just give 1 to 1 and we trade literally and hit your stop loss. And if you are there and you're not taking profit and all of that, you'll just keep watching you seeing profit and still ending in loss. So usually what the major cause, if you check most of these things, this happen is in a ranging market. Usually those ranging market conditions, try to avoid it. Try to stay in a, because most of your strategy is a trend seeking and following strategy, right? So aim for at least 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, right? And never take trades that are worse than 1 to 1. Never take trade one-to-one. You'll be understanding why shortly, right? So your average win should be bigger than your average losses, right? At every single point in time. Let's go back to our example. Let's say you risk 0.5 to make 1%. That's 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, right? So even though your strategy is a win rate, like 50% win rate, right? Over 20 trades, right? That is 10 winners, that's plus 10%, 10 losers minus 5%, right? Your net result is going to be plus 5%, right? While never risking more than 0.5% per trade, right? So you see, you don't need really a very 90% win rate, 100% win rate. You just need consistent risk, decent reward, and discipline to executing that same plan every single day, right? And it will be very difficult for you to pass profit if you don't have a strategy. If you are still guessing and switching strategy, it will be very difficult for you to have consistent profit. So if you're here, you want to learn the strategy I use personally, there's a link on the description box and it leads you to my free community where I do free trainings from time to time. And I also share some of my trades and you can literally come closer and learn more deeply from me. But please, it's your option, right? You might be a good trader, that's fine. But the most important thing is that you're just learning and you're upskilling yourself and you're getting better every single day. Then number 6 is psychological rule. This psychological thing is a very big deal. I don't know really if really I should say why trader fails. This psychological part that literally is the undermining of many traders. Most traders don't fail from bad entries; they fail from bad behaviors. And here are the psychological rules that support your risk plan. No revenge trading, right? If you hit your daily loss limit, you are done for the day. Just go and do other thing. Secondly, don't over leverage. We've done the whole calculation and everything, but still some of you guys will still go against these things and keep blowing these accounts. Never increase your lot size just to make it back, right? So no trading outside your plan as well. So if the setup, you don't find any setup that meets your criteria, just it's not a big deal. Not trading is a strategy too as well, right? One challenge, stick to your plan and don't change your strategy mid-challenge. Stick, do something consistently over time, right? So you can literally write your rule on paper, right, and keep it next to your desk. I told you the criteria of the account, and you can have like where you document your rule every single day, and you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. For me personally, I have a PDF file. I write down all my rules, and when I want to trade, I'm like an algorithm. I just keep making sure that this thing check. So it just helps me not to be emotional and go against my rule, right? So write down your rules. That would very help you, right? So you don't gambling and you don't let your psychology and emotion just be around the whole place. So let's walk through everything we've talked about. We've said that 0.5% per trade, at least 1.5 your max daily risk, right? That can allow you 2 or 3 trades per day. I would say at least have a weekly drawdown limit, at least 5%. In a $100,000 kind could be 5%. And even anytime you reach your weekly drawdown limit of $5,000, try to reduce your risk, your daily, your per trade risk from 0.5 to at least 0.25 or 0. At least half of it, right? So if you're down 5%, right, try to reduce that, right? So try to just keep being consistent, doing the same thing over and over again. But lastly, guys, this prop firm thing, see it like a business. Usually every prop firm, I have a book for prop firm. I write down my rules, write down my strategy, write down the rules and every single thing. So every single day, I don't try to depend on my mind. I try to document every single thing so that I know I'm following something, right? That helps you a lot. Every single day, seeing the risk to reward ratio, seeing the criteria, seeing your plan and just doing it. It just helps you remember that you have a plan you are trading and you have to stick to this plan. So this is how you literally could get to a point where you can make money consistently from passing prop firms and all that. And lastly, sometimes you can do all this and you can still lose. If you've been trading for a while, you know it. Just to encourage you, it's really not the end. Get another prop firm. Keep doing it over and over and over again. It's teaching you discipline. It's teaching you patience. And trust me, you get to a point. One Profem you'd pass literally would pay you back for all the money you've spent in purchasing these challenges. So guys, I really want you guys to, I'm rooting for you guys, and I truly want you guys to pass your Profem. So if you are going to apply what I've taught, and when you pass your Profem, please do let me know in the comment section that you applied what I taught and you've passed your Profem and you've get funded. I'll be really happy to celebrate with you. So thank you so much. Please do well to subscribe if you got value, and see you in the next video.